Hi everyone. So we're back now, ready to continue on with the creative process of building our augmented reality app. What I'm going to do is just open up my project that I started last week. So you should by now have a project just like this one here, iPad augmented reality app project made within Unity. And I'm just going to open it up and I'm going to navigate and find my AR camera scene, double click on that and open it up within Unity. Here it is there, iPad AR app, which is again the name of my folder over here. We'll open up and we can keep going with the production of our software and our app. Okay, so remember when we left things off last week, you had created your different screens. Okay, so the 3 screens in 3 different scene files. And if I was to play my app here, you can see we're looking at the AR camera because that's the one we opened up. I can go home, that will take me to the main screen at home. I can click into the library, this is my library screen, play AR, and so on. Okay, so it's just a matter of clicking through those. So what we're going to focus on today is actually setting up our functionality of our augmented reality camera within this scene. Okay, so within my AR camera scene, you can see that we have the standard canvas. I've got my button code, which is again the object that we've applied our scene script onto so that it remembers which scene we're clicking between, and our event system, which just activates our button, and our main camera, which is a standard tool within Unity. Okay, so within Unity, what I'm going to do is choose a game object. I'm going to put in a different camera here, so choose game object and go down to Vuforia. Okay, I'm going to actually select an object here called AR camera. Now there's a range of other things you can do. Okay, we're going to come back to this later. AR camera is the key thing we want. Okay, and Vuforia is actually a specific type of tool or plugin that Unity has incorporated into it now that deals with augmented reality. So just select the AR camera there, and you can see that it will bring up the prompt to import Vuforia assets. We want to do that, so click import. It will prepare a package, just like we've imported custom packages from the asset store and otherwise beforehand. This is no different. So it's going to compile and bring up a loading bar to import our assets, ready to bring into Unity. Okay, so just wait for that to finish. Okay, so here we are. It's imported in my AR camera, as well as set up a few assets. You can see here, back in my main assets folder position, there's a few other bits and pieces that have been imported into our project. Okay, so we actually now have a folder called Vuforia, and inside that is a range of bits and pieces that work with the Vuforia system. Okay, that has its own scripts folder, something called prefabs, fonts, etc. Won't get into that too much. There's streaming assets as well. Again, I won't get into that too much though. However, we will be touching on a few bits and pieces. Okay, so if we have a look at our AR camera here, you can see if we select it, you get a little camera preview just like you do with your main camera. Okay, you can't actually see anything at the moment, but what we can have a look at is just a few default sections. Okay, so the number 1 prompt you'll see here is a yellow caution mark that says Vuforia is not enabled. Enable Vuforia in the player settings. Okay. So that actually means that if I was to look at my app or my game, in the project settings, they're not actually set up correctly for Vuforia yet. So we need to do that now. Okay, so what we want to do is go to our edit menu, and choose project settings, player. Okay, under our player settings, you can see that this is where we actually deal with a range of information about our project, okay, specifically our Apple or iOS iPad app. Okay, so you can actually come up with names and so on for your app here. We're going to come back to that later on. You can see that you can also, if you're doing games and so on, adjust your cursor, so you can actually put in customized mouse cursors and so on. Resolution and presentation. Okay, this is where you could actually set up your app to be certain orientations. So if you wanted your iPad app to just work in portrait or landscape mode, you could tick these or untick these boxes. Okay, going down, there's other stuff like icons, splash images, and so on. We will come back to these later. What I want you to click on for now is something called the XR settings. So this is dealing with augmented reality or virtual reality. XR is a terminology that seems to be appearing around more and more. But underneath this, you can particularly see that we have two boxes. One of them deals with Vuforia augmented reality supported. Just tick that box, okay, and click accept of the software license. Okay, so just accepting the terminology there that we'll be using our Vuforia development systems to create this augmented reality, and we'll do so in a professional manner. Okay, with that done, we can now go back into AR Camera, and you'll see that there's a few key areas here. Just do me a favor, click on Open Vuforia Configuration, and this is where we'll have to set up a few other key aspects. Okay, I'm going to come back to this in just one moment, however, because for now, okay, we're going to actually look at setting up and testing our Vuforia scene. Okay, so I'm just going to choose File and save my project first. Okay, and then File, Save Scene. And because we already have our augmented reality camera, we don't actually need our main camera as well. So I'm now going to right click and delete that. And what I can now do is test my augmented reality camera or my AR camera works. So just go ahead and press the play button in your scene. And you should see, just like in my scene here, okay, we don't really have anything happening. You might see on your computer the little green lights come on, there's some objects appearing, but we can't actually see anything on our screen. Now that's actually because our camera feed, which is how the augmented reality camera works, is currently blocked by our canvas, okay, our user interface we created last time. So I'm just going to stop clicking play there, and into my canvas here, I'm actually going to drop this down, find the image, and untick it. Okay, I want this to be invisible. You might want to untick the text as well, okay, just so we have a few key things we can have a look at. You can always activate and reactivate these buttons and so on if you want to, or you can reposition them all together. Okay, so I might decide to reposition my library and home buttons. Just for now, again, we'll be customizing this a little more in time. Okay, so now with that done, I'm going to save my scene again, and then press play. This time, you should see your camera start up, okay, and a live feed of yourself as you're sort of sitting at the camera feed there. Okay, so what you're looking at is the camera feed that the current device is using to make your application, okay, and run the augmented reality functionality. Okay, so I've just stopped the play button there, but you should be able to obviously start working with this AR camera to set up some of the augmented reality things you would like to occur in the application.